Grand Rising, good afternoon, and good evening. I thank you in advance for your viewership and support. If you were here with me on Monday when I did my pop-up live, then this reading won't be a surprise to you. Today's reading, we're going to tap into the energy between Shawn Carter, better known to the world as Jay-Z, and attorney Tony Busby, better known as Anthony Busby, professionally, but Tony Busby, as we call him to the internet. And I wanted to get off into the crooks and the crevices of what's going on between both of these men. These are both men with very strong personalities, and these are two people that will not back down. Now, for those of you who have been under a rock, baby, I don't know where you've been. It went down over the weekend. On Sunday, Jay-Z released a statement, and then he took the statement down and he revamped the statement and he put the statement back up. So to get everybody properly acclimated on what was said, I'm going to read both of the statements, and then we're going to go off into the reading. That way we can be abreast of both parties and what both parties actually said, okay? Give me a second. I'm going to blow this up because the print is a little small with the Jay-Z statement. Now, this is the updated version of his statement. It says, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations, and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud that you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a little bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to become such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who has made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these games. We don't play these types of games. My apology. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists and fake physics, I believe that was supposed to be fake psychics, but fake physics, will believe idiotic claims that you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. So this is a statement that Jay-Z still has posted on his page. I'm going to pull up Tony Busby so that, we are well aware of both party statements. Give me 1 second. Queuing up the statement that was sent by Buzbee. And Busby did put up his picture from when he was in the Marines. I'll read that as well. Okay, let's see. Because the statement that he put up, I believe it's on X. It's not on his IG. He has a different statement on his IG. Thank you for your patience in advance. Okay, let's see. So here we go. Tony Busby, and this is from his X account. It says, regarding the Jay-Z case and his effort to silence my client, Mr. Carter previously denies being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed his frivolous case under a pseudonym. What he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim. That victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought confidential mediation. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. His conduct has had the opposite impact. She is emboldened. I'm very proud of her resolve. As far as the allegations in the complaint filed, we will let the filing speak for itself and litigate the facts in court, not in the media. So after that went up, there was claims that came out on Tony Busby that stated that there was, I believe, a young lady who said that she had contacted Tony Busby, so he didn't reach out to her. She contacted Tony Busby, and allegedly Tony Busby, according to her statement, was trying to get her to falsify a statement against Jay-Z to put a lawsuit on him. So from what I believe, this was during the time that Busby was asking for any victims of Diddy rather, to come forward, because he was representing over 120 clients. So she reached out to him allegedly for the Diddy case, and he's saying that she tried to allegedly get her to involve Jay-Z. And however that worked out, it appears that attorney Tony Busby did not accept her, or that's where the gray area is. However it works, either he didn't accept her or she declined, but she's saying she went over to Alex Spiro and his law firm with this complaint that they were trying to get her to make false statements against Jay-Z. Now, after that was said, Tony Busby, he struck back and he stated that not only did the law firm or possible PIs that work for the law firm affiliated with Jay-Z reach out to follow and harassed him, his family members, his clients, his employees and ex-employees, to see if they could get them to talk about possibly being abused, but they were allegedly offering people money to file a claim against Buzbee. And he says that he has transcripts. Well, he gave a transcript online, but he says that he has a recorded phone call that is extremely damning, and he filed an emergency file to get this on the record. So it's been back and forth. It's been crazy. So this is from Tony Busby's IG. Okay, so that's a picture of him when he was a Marine. First Lieutenant A.G. Buzbee for Anthony Buzbee. I don't know what the G stands for. Platoon Commander. And his statement is, recognize this guy? This is a picture of a weapons platoon commander, Alpha Company 1st Battalion, 4th Marines from our old Western Pacific cruise book. Despite a coordinated and aggressive effort that has included harassing my kids, contacting my clients and former clients to encourage them to sue me, contacting my colleagues and former employees, asking if I abused them, showing up at my current employees' home to harass them, filing frivolous cases against me and my law firm, defaming me with outrageous assertions to anyone who will listen, and having mysterious people follow me and my family. I'm still that guy. I won't be bullied or intimidated. People will see through this effort to discredit me and my clients, and the truth will be revealed. I also won't allow anyone to scare my clients into silence. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am quite certain the sun is coming. So, with all of that being said, everybody, this is definitely becoming a huge snowball effect, like an avalanche coming out of this situation. So I had to preface that so everyone could be up to speed with what's going on. And I'm pretty sure by the time this video uploads, 25 more things will have happened, because as soon as they make a response to Tony, Tony gets right on the internet and he fires right back. So we're going to go ahead and start the reading. Thank you, everybody, for being patient with me so that I can get through that, read, what's been said. I didn't even read from the next one that Mr. Busby put up last night, where he gave a transcript of what was being said. But y'all, it's all over the internet. I just wanted to get you like the meat and potatoes of what's happening before I get started. Angel, spirit guides, and ancestors of the highest heavenly form, show me the energy around Shawn Carter and Tony Buzbee, attorney Tony Buzbee. What is the energy around Shawn Carter and attorney Tony Buzbee as of now? So we've got a 3 of Pentacles here. You've got the World and the Knight of Coins. Bottom of the deck is the 10 of Swords. So in the upright, Three of Pentacles, which is a card of collaboration. So it looks as if these two were supposed to sit down and talk. That's what that that letter was about. But there's an end of a cycle now, because it's like somebody on one of these sides, this is feeling like on Jay's side, he wanted to bring this situation to an end, even kind of stalled the situation and dragged it out. And this is alleged. Before I go any further, this reading is alleged. All things said are for entertainment purposes only. So he wanted to stall this situation, kind of drag it out to figure out who it was that may have betrayed him. And this is during the time that this was not publicly announced, you know, that there was even an issue, you know, looming, when this was still a private matter. So you've got the Hermit here. And the Hermit is someone who sits in deep reflection, okay? The Hermit is a scholar. This is someone who will sit to themselves until they, you know, either get the information that they need before they move forward, or they get an epiphany. It comes to them what it is that they need to know about a situation. And that, you know, pretty much correlates with what I just said about trying to drag this situation out to get more information on who could have possibly been the person who said this, to get information on whoever this person is that may have been behind this complaint, but to no avail. So you got the Strength card here, and as you can see, this woman who is behind this fierce tiger. Usually it's a lion on the card, but she's behind this fierce tiger, and the tiger is protecting her, and he's telling her, listen, don't back down, I got you. And that tiger represents attorney Tony Buzbee. So here you go. You got the Wounded Warrior here. And this is the card of tenacity. The Wounded Warrior is someone who fights and fights and fights over and over and over again. And they're usually someone that wins because they never give up. Also, here it is. You got the King of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. For those of you that don't know, Tony Buzbee is an air sign. He is a Gemini. So this right here is showing that he's coming through an alpha energy, and he's not someone to take lightly. He's definitely not someone to play with. So this right here feels like the actual energy behind what is, you know, causing Tony Buzbee to be so public and to be so brazen about this case, because this actually is affecting his family tree. This is not like normal cases that he has that, you know, when you can leave work, you leave the cases at work. This is affecting his family tree. And then you've got the Page of Cups here at the bottom of the deck, which, you know, shows me that he feels like, you know, the communication rather, excuse me, the communication between the both of them was very, very light. There wasn't really much communication said. So when it got to this level, it was just like, where in the world is this coming from? So this goes back into what Mr. Buzbee said about this is standard business and operations. To send this letter, you have a sit down and negotiate terms, conditions, and agreements. But it also is letting me know that he's like, because it affected my family tree, you will be sorry. So you got the King of Coins here. The King of Coins represents a father figure, someone that is very wise when it comes to giving advice and counsel, someone who is a protector, someone who is like a provider, okay? And it's like this took the whole situation in a new direction when it came to being able to work together and collaborate, to, you know, sit down between the client on both sides and the attorneys. I'm literally hearing no surrender, no retreat. So when he attacked him, when he talked about him being a Marine, that really, really, really struck a nerve, and it put him back in the mindset of being in a platoon, being a part of that battalion, okay? So you got the Justice card, which represents legal findings, legal standings, and also bringing balance to a situation. And it's falling under the Three of Pentacles, which is the card of collaboration. So it's like I wanted to do a behind the scenes collaboration with you so that we could come to some kind of terms and agreements on how this should be handled. So, I mean, Jay wasn't off when it comes to, you know, we're going to sit down and eventually we're going to have to talk numbers, because the Wheel of Fortune is a large amount of money. Why did Tony feel, or why did Jay feel rather, that this was going to end up turning into a large settlement? Why did Jay feel that? Y'all, look at this. So you've got this Six of Cups that comes out, which represents the past. Notice this is a grown man with a youthful child, a minor. Seven of Swords. Things that you don't want to come out that may have to do with you in the past in a minor. Once again, this reading is for entertainment purposes only. All things said are allegedly. So there's more than what meets the eye in this situation. There's definitely something to things in the past that could possibly come out that will be very unnerving, okay? It's like, just think about if someone was to make an accusation to where, okay, that accusation may not be true, but what the accusation is attached to is way bigger than what you could be accused of. You pretty much want to get rid of the whole situation, like throw the baby out with the bathwater type of energy, because there's something much bigger here, and you don't want to tap into whatever it is that could be bigger. So you've got the Hermit here and the Empress. And that is a very interesting combination, because like I said earlier, the Hermit is someone that goes off into seclusion and they take their time to learn. They are, you know, someone that is a very well-learned person. Once the Hermit comes out of seclusion, they're enlightened, okay? And when you've got the Empress here, the Empress is what gives birth to a situation and brings it into fruition. Now you've got the Wheel of Fortune here under the deck, okay? And the Wheel of Fortune is letting me know that this could affect a large amount of wealth, because what could have been discovered, you know, allegedly in secret, could actually give birth to shining a light on something that could be far greater than the accusation that we've heard publicly. Yeah. So you've got the strength here, which is already on the table, which is the lady and this tiger, and the tiger is protecting this lady. And then you got the moon here with the two wolves. That means that there is a secret attached to two people that could possibly be considered wolves, or could have been wolves in sheep clothing, so to speak. The moon represents the things that are not seen. So he definitely has information that is attached to him and Diddy. But the question is how much? And it's looking like whatever he has, hold on. For those of you that are new to me, I don't just read what hits the table, I read as I shuffle as well. You've got the 8 of coins here, and you've got the 10 of wands, which is showing me that things could have happened allegedly while they were working together, or they may have worked together on things. And this 10 of wands means this is a burden that he will not be able to carry. This is literally the straw that will break the camel's back. So you've got the 7 of coins here. And it falls under the 9 of wands, which would be, you know, Tony Busby, the wounded warrior, which is the fighter with tenacity, the one who never gives up. He's investing in this woman at this point. It's like you poke the bear. Once he felt like his family and his law firm and his clients had been put in a position where they were, you know, harassed or possibly put in danger, it made him say that he was going to invest in this client, and he was going to take this one all the way to the bank, not just, you know, financially, but he's invested now. You really got his attention. He's laser focused now. So 8 of wands falling under the tree of life is like whatever this harassment that Mr. Busby is speaking on, it feels like this came out of nowhere. This happened really swiftly. And once his family were approached, and then he found out the other people, which he still considers to be under his umbrella, like his clients, his ex-clients, his employees, his, you know, colleagues, his ex-employees. This is all still under his umbrella. This became personal. And see, when you got the Palace of Wands, Jay-Z is a fire sign. Okay, he's a Sagittarius. So this would be his house, his business, everything that he's built, the empire that he's built, tower. Okay, so he's already has it in his mind that he's going to bring a tower to everything that you've built, because you've threatened the safety and stability and caused mental duress, so to speak, to those that are around him and those that he feels that he's responsible for. And it's interesting because, like, to be under duress is like you're forced to comply or agree with the situation. So it's like mental duress. It's like you're intimidating people to the point to where they have to think about if they even speak, what could happen to them. So they're being pushed into a corner to where they have to decide what's better or what's safe, allegedly. And I'm hearing once again that no surrender, no retreat. So that Marine, that soldier, has reactivated. And this is where Shawn Carter may have messed up big time, because you got the Five of Cups here. This is a man who he feels like he's going to make it his business to expose, the truth that will really humiliate you, bring you shame, regret, remorse, make you wish that you would never come after him the way that you did. So it's like the smear campaign that started on Monday, which you may have wished to bring that energy to him so that he would lose in the court of public opinion. Once again, he takes it very, very, very serious, because this came to his family. This is more than work. It's one thing if you just attacked him and, his credibility. It's like, okay, we're mudslinging, whatever. But this ended up affecting his family. And once it affected his family, it became a whole nother situation. So you got the Palace of Coins over here, and you got the Justice card. So I do see that this was going to lead to a cash settlement, but what I do believe is this was going to be something that could have possibly been done under the table, and paperwork would have been drafted up to put this in the land of NDA, and it may not have ever, made it to the light of day. Okay? This is the energy that I'm getting. It would have never made it to the light of day. You would have paid, paperwork would have been signed. It couldn't have been brought up against you on a later date. This is what this feels like. But here's that Tower energy. Once this became public and people that were close to Tony were affected, this is all he can see. The energy of Tower, bringing an end to tyranny. So here it is. It really does feel like with the Eight of Cups, you see how there's a moon behind this person? It feels like Jay would have got to walk away from this situation and leave whatever this moon was, this secret energy, the things that are unknown, the things that people don't see. It feels like this would have been left behind, okay? It would have been brought to a close. It definitely would have affected his pockets, but he would have been able to move forward and leave that energy behind. And interesting enough, y'all, I've never paid attention to this part of the artwork. If you pay attention to these steps that this person is taking, which are like, podiums or like different platforms, okay? It appears to be like a stairway to heaven. So for those of you who don't know the reference to Stairway to Heaven, it's actually a reference that refers to how the devil is going to try to re-enter heaven by building a stairway to heaven, and to, engage in a battle of the heavens to reclaim his spot and his space in the heavens. And this is the energy that I feel that is attached to this case. Like, had he have, sat down, they discussed settling this situation. Like I said, he could have walked away from this, left whatever this energy was behind, and did just fine. But now with the world at the top of this road, the Knight of Coins, the Six of Cups, and the Eight of Cups, it's like Jay is using different platforms to rebuild his character so that he can rebuild that stairway back to who he has been seeing all these years as this, businessman, this family man, this individual who is highly exalted. So at the bottom of the deck, you got the Two of Cups. And right now, they're doing a lot of PR, a lot of things to show that, hey, we're a united front, Swans mate for life, as far as him and his wife. That, we're still happily married. This is a strong family. This is the energy that is being placed into the media, because once again, they're using these different platforms so that they don't have to suffer a fall from grace. But let me show this again before I move on. As you can see, this person is literally climbing up, which means they've already taken a fall from grace. They're trying to get back into the position that they were already in, while trying to also walk away from whatever that secret is that could be attached to them from the past. It's just like, let me tiptoe my way back into position, and hopefully, if we handle this right in the media, it's not going to be a big deal. Give it a few months, we'll be back to where we've always been. But they're learning swiftly that they're going to have to take a new approach in this situation, because this gave birth to a whole new energy. And now you have a lot of people that are going back down memory lane, and they're looking at all of the energy throughout the past that may have been a little questionable, and they're asking for answers to that question now. So now you've got the internet sleuths, the same conspiracy theorists that he spoke about in his commentary to attorney Tony Busby, that are actually digging up old information, and they're asking questions, and it really is starting to have the reverse effect. So you've got the Two of Pentacles here, and in secret, it's like, it's interesting, because it's like, here it is, there's Busby and the woman here, and Busby knows far more than what he's saying, because it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So he was juggling with how he was going to approach this situation very, very early on, from what I can see, because it's like he always knew about the two moons and the two wolves here, okay? Or the super moon that covers both of the two wolves here. And, like I said, moons are always, the keeper of secrets. Moons show you one face while having many others. There is always a side to the moon that you don't see. So it's like he always juggled with how he was going to handle this situation, because he always knew that there were two wolves hiding a huge secret. But it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So you've got the Palace of Cups here. And the Palace of Cups represents a loving environment. So he is extending the olive branch to this woman to help her understand that he is supportive of her and her plight. Like I said, Seven of Coins. He is now investing in this woman. He's fully invested in this case with this woman. Not because of her story, so to speak, but because of the adverse reaction to what happened when he stated that he was going to, ask for a sit down to speak on this case. So he may not have known in the beginning how they were going to handle this case. It could have been handled in several different ways, the Seven of Cups. So part of that sit down was to get a better understanding of the situation so that he could be more abreast of how they were going to move forward on handling this case. He wanted to hear things from both sides to even decide how far he was going to take this case. But when things became personal, he decided to be fully invested. Yeah, and here it is. Once it affected his family tree, it's like, now, now I am coming for the bag. Now I am going to invest in this. Now I am going to turn this into an actual full-fledged lawsuit. So he may not have been even considering a full-fledged lawsuit from the very beginning, because he felt like he needed to get more information. More had to come out in discovery. He had to figure out how to handle this between both parties. But it was the personal attacks where, here it is, bottom of the deck. The anxiety that was caused at how you came against his family, the way that you were willing to fight him, attached to him and his family. Yeah, Three of Wands. You wanted to bring, an opportunity to ships that were coming in to an end. The fact that you were willing to use unusual means, allegedly. And here it is. You got the Fool. This is being hasty, not, thinking things properly through. And it's like he feels like he's going to show, Jay-Z and his lawyers that they jumped this situation a little too soon, too fast. They were very hasty and foolish in the way that they handled this, falling under the Five of Cups. He's going to make them, regret what they did. They're going to rue the day that they came for him. So now it's like, you wanted to be the boogeyman and cause anxiety, cause people to lose sleep, to be afraid of even collaborating with me, assisting me. And this is what I'm going to use to come after your empire. Alrighty, so we've got the Sun here, and you can expect way more exposure. Way more is going to come out, and things are going to come really, really swiftly. For those of you who were in my live on Monday, I said to expect a lot of information to come out between now and January, and neither side is disappointed. So there are going to be things that are going to come to light. And notice he said the sun is the best disinfectant, and eventually, he sees the sun coming out on this situation. So he's definitely going to come forward with full exposure to show the type of things that have been done behind the scenes that have actually, brought fear and anxiety to the people that are very close to him. So you've got the Faith card that comes out in the upright, and then the Two of Swords. So it's like you wanted to separate people from their faith in this case, this man. Cut off people's trust in working with Tony Buzbee. Five of Coins, make it to where it would affect his business. It could possibly even dry up his business to where he would lose, high profile clients. But all of this is actually going to have the adverse effect, because now people are going to juggle with how they think and how they feel about Jay-Z, and it's going to separate people from Jay and his family. Okay, Ten of Cups. So you've got a Eight of Pentacles, which is a work card. And what this feels like to me, because you've got the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, okay? Knight of Wands means several different things. So this was supposed to be open and shut, in and out. We sit down, we come to some type of agreement, we decide if this is something that could be settled in arbitration right here at the table. Do we move any further? What does this attorney possibly have in discovery? These types of things. And it was supposed to be in and out, one and done, nothing complicated. But also, Knight of Wands is a hypersexual card, and it speaks about a possible sexual frivolous encounter that may have only happened once while at an event that was attached to work. Now, that evening was the night of the MTV Music Awards. This was considered an iconic night in music. For those of you who are old enough, those of you who remember, this is the night that J-Lo literally set the gossip blogs on fire. She wore this navel plunging Versace dress, and the dress was beautiful. It had a tropical exotic theme to it. The plunge literally was all the way down to almost to her pelvis, but she had a great body. She looked good in it, and that dress was like one of the most iconic moments of the night for that red carpet. So that would be a event that you were working that could have ended in a result of a Knight of Wands energy, allegedly. Okay, so here's that family card again, and it's finally out on the table, and it's falling under the family, the Tree of Life, the Eight of Wands, and the 10, which is actually the Wheel of Fortune. And he wants you to pay for everything that you've done, everything that you've caused to happen to his family tree. He wants you to see what it feels like to bring this type of anxiety and shock and worry and concern to his family for, possibly allegedly having them watch, because this is the card of surveillance and watching and recording. And here it is. Three of Coins is not just about having a jovial affair. Okay, this also can represent, things that happen while at a party, for sure. But this is also a card that speaks on idle gossip. And by it falling under the Fool card, the Five of Cups, and the King of Coins, he feels like you should have been more responsible with your communication and the things that you have said publicly, because you have said a lot of things that could be considered to be maybe good for the gossip columns, but it is rumor with no regard. And he definitely made the statement that, he would try this in a court of law and not the court of public opinion. So he's also, Busby is letting it be known that he will not allow you to make this into a situation to where we try this in the court of public opinion. He's not going to go back and forth for, shock value to possibly taint the jury pool, so to speak. Pardon me, everybody. I'm trying to clear this space. Yeah, so yeah, he's like, we're gonna handle this in proper legal fashion. So this will be interesting if this has to go to court, which I do see that Tony Buzbee is hell-bent on taking this to court now. And he's like, you're not going to use this situation to, gain public access to shaping the minds of the people who could be selected for the jury. Yeah. So it was heartbreaking to him to find out that people were in anxiety, people were afraid, people were scared. As far as Busby is concerned. And you've got the Emperor here, which is a very controlling, domineering figure who is, or would be considered someone who is the ruler over, companies, or once again, like I said, empires. So he's looking at this as, fear mongering, scare tactics, trying to manipulate the narrative to bring a circle to a close. But the interesting thing here is the Knight of Coins, which is like, not only, trying to drag a situation out longer than it has to be, but there's something going on with finances that could actually be dried up or slowed up pretty soon once some of these things start coming out. And I do see that Busby is going to really, really start exposing him, which we go back to that line about the sun being the best form of disinfectant, and he sees the sun coming out soon. So he knows that the best way to deal with someone like this, I'm not going to go back and forth with you publicly. I'm going to let the case speak for itself. When we go to court, it will be public record, and people will see through the public record the things that you have actually done. I'm going to expose you in court. This is what it feels like. Yeah, so Seven of Cups is like he has multiple options, multiple different ways that he can handle this situation. And you got the Ace of Wands here that's at the bottom of my deck. It's like he's pushing through, and he's pushing through expediently. So interesting enough, it's like Jay is now trying to figure out, how does he handle this situation? What does he do? How does he move this through and expedite it as soon as possible, as fast as possible? But now Tony is like, oh no, you want to rush me? I tried to handle this quietly months ago, and now you want to rush me and hurry up and throw it out. Now I'm going to drag this shit. I'm going to take as long as I feel like I necessarily need to take. And I'm going to take my time because now I'm investigating you. Now I'm getting all of your information, and I'm going to expose you for things that you've actually done versus what you're trying to pay people to say that I've done, allegedly. So here it is, the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords comes out in the upright, and Queen of Swords can be someone that not only is honest, but this is someone that stands on what she says. Notice her sword is drawn, so she stands on what she says. This is someone who believes in what I'm saying is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And her faith and conviction is what is allowing her to push forward to say what she needs to say from the energy that I'm seeing. And then boom, that faith activates and it brings judgment. But see, when judgment comes, when Gabriel blows his horn, it's not only, God allowing Gabriel to know that he can alert the saints to let them know that God is coming back to rescue them. It's also God letting the evildoers know that their time is up and that judgment is being called on them. They're getting ready to go before the courts of the heavens and the universe, and they will be dealt with. So you got the Four of Swords here, and this is like, wanting to bring a situation to a rest, to a close. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Swords. So allegedly, it feels like Tony Busby may want to ensure that this situation comes to a rest or a close because he wants to see Jay-Z in jail, or Shawn Carter, because now we're no longer dealing with the persona, we're dealing with the person. And here it is, the King of Wands, who would actually be the Sagittarius, a fire sign. And this falls under, this Eight of Coins, the Palace of Cups, the Seven of Coins, and the Nine of Wands. There is definitely a strong tie here between him and this work situation attached to Puffy. The Palace of Cups may not have been Puffy's home, his actual home, but it may have been a home that had been rented, like an Airbnb. Allegedly. And there it is. The Tower finally comes out. It falls under the Ten of Cups, the Wheel, the Eight of Wands, and the Tree of Life. Once you came for Tony's family and people that he considered family, the ones that are close to him, it was no surrender, no retreat. He's going to do whatever he feels that it takes to destroy your empire. And the craziest thing is, you gave him the ammunition when you sent whoever this was out, allegedly, to sneak around and collect information. Because whatever this person or this entity, this company did when they were out, they pushed it too far. So here it is. You've got the Emperor. And you've got the Six of Swords. So definitely Jay-Z was trying to separate himself from, the toxicity of what was being said so that he could move forward. But that card didn't come out. So it's letting me know that he won't be able to do so. And he's going to have to be careful about the idle chit chatter and gossip that he put out when he made those statements. because all of this falls under your umbrella, because these people allegedly work for you. So anything that they did under your watch, under your tutelage, under your instruction could possibly end up having you investigated for conspiracy. And if the information is strong enough, it will definitely cause a RICO case to begin. So that's interesting, because it's like these investigators allegedly were sent out to cause people to turn away from Busby law. But what it actually did was activate a whole nother investigation that could actually bring way worse energy than whatever was on the table with the initial client, this woman. This is independent from what has happened with this woman and whatever was supposed to be discussed, you know, in that discovery and in that meeting that never happened. This is totally independent of that. This is a whole nother case. Yeah. So here we go. We got them arguing back and forth about backdoor tactics, 7 of Swords. But it feels like heartbreak is going to come, and this is literally going to be the beginning of the end, because you literally made an enemy for life. What did Cardi say? Once a bitch beef with me, you got beef forever. This is what this feels like. See, it was fine as long as it stayed at work and attorney Tony Buzbee could leave it at work and come home to his family. It's still a work concern. It's when it turned into a situation that came into his house, it was no longer work. And he's going to stand up, and he's going to fight, and he's going to bring down the hammer of Thor. He's bringing justice. Wow, my spirit guide said that Mr. Carter, Ochosi is coming for you. So there's going to be more communication to come in the future about Knight of Wands activity. More messages are going to be coming out. I do see that this lady eventually is going to come forward and speak. Busby is definitely standing his ground, fighting and defending this woman. This was simply, I mean, I'm telling y'all, it really looks like this was supposed to just be something that could have been handled in a simple arbitration. Your lawyers meet with my lawyers. They sit down, come to an agreement, figure out how the situation can be handled from that point thus far. And then we come up with a number, you know, counter, figure out what we're going to do. And boom, it's over. Sign this. You can never speak about it again, and it's over. That's what this feels like it was supposed to be. And then it just it turned into napalm. So here it is. You got the Chariot. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Wands. Do not be surprised if Jay-Z decides to move and leave the country. because the Chariot is fast movement, and I mean swift movement. It's like one day he may be here, the next day he might be like Ellen overseas. I would not be surprised. Because as you can see, this devil that has someone bound in this cage, notice the cage door is open. So once this tower hits, it's like, you know, it's going to feel like people are free to move around and communicate and to talk and to say what they feel like they need to say about their experiences. So, moral of the story, and I'm going to leave it here, is that if there had been a possible settlement behind the scenes, it looks like he would have been able to move forward victoriously anyway, because he may have been able to pay this lady off, have her to sign some documentation to where, you know, when it's all said and done, here's your money, we'll never speak on this again, and you can never bring this up or testify against me and come in a court of law, because this matter has been settled. That's what this feels like this was supposed to be, okay? But the pride before the fall is epic. Alrighty, now that I got my table cleared, I'm going to use a couple of oracles, and then we're going to close this out, because I want to try to get this up today. Okay, so you got Lady Luck here. Lady Luck is in the upright. Okay, I will make sure y'all able to see this. The Velvet Queen. The Steampunk Priestess. And notice with the Steampunk Priestess, her third eye is being covered by these glasses. It can either be protected or it can be binded to keep her from being able to tap in and see what's going on beyond the illusion. And we have the Sweetheart. And notice this Sweetheart has a lollipop, and she appears to be someone that is innocent. But then you have this butterfly here. It's not a monarch butterfly, but interesting enough, butterflies are usually signs for beta sex kittens or whatnot. But look at this woman's mouth. See how she's supposed to look innocent, but at the same token, she looks like she's had her innocence stolen. She looks battered. So we're going to read the energy behind these cards. Now, Lady Luck, you know, is considered like you taking a gamble, okay? And you got to hope that Lady Luck allows you to win. So it's like now, you know, Jay is realizing that he took a gamble in a situation to where, you know, he may have possibly, you know, put the cart before the horse. He may have overstepped a boundary, and he's hoping that, you know, he rolled the dice in this situation and it works out in his favor, okay? So we're going to go off into, you know, the meanings in the book so I can give you their meanings, and then I give my final breakdown. So Lady Luck is 41. 41, the numerology of 41 would reduce down to 5. 5 is conflict, chaos, and major change, okay? So he's hoping that out of this chaos that he can roll the dice, that he can play his cards right. But he has to wait this one out and see, because, like I said, he took a gamble and he may have overplayed his hand. Here we go. So, Lady Luck. Lady Luck is on your side. A change of fortune is in store for you. A twist of fate that is meant to be, you're a winner, baby. You're about to hit the jackpot. Now it says, do you think that luck is something that only happens when others are, or luckier people are around you? Your attitude can attract luck to your side, no matter if you once thought that you were the unluckiest person alive. So like I said, he took a gamble, right? And he's hoping that luck is on his side. So we're going to the Velvet Queen. Velvet Queen is number 25, which reduces down to 7 in the numerology. And 7 is a number of divinity. Funny enough, excuse me, in the book, it's on page 77. Okay, so here we go. The Velvet Queen. It says, a rare prize to be bestowed upon you. The universe is confirming that the most luscious dreams of your heart are being nurtured into manifestation. To this end, you shall be given a saving grace and intervention if need be. To be open to receive, to surrender, to doubt in favor of unconditional trust. Throughout your trust and optimism, you made it easier for the universe to give you the most deserved gift. Now, interesting enough, what's funny about that is if you could see this woman's face, okay? Look at her eyes. They get you in a trance, and it's almost as if you have to wonder if this woman could be blind or not because of the way that her eyes look. So he may be blind to the energy that is around him because everything is always worked out in his favor. And, you know, he figured, you know, luck has always been a lady to me. Things have always worked out in my favor. You know, I'm going to get what I want the way that I have always gotten what I wanted. But when it says the universe is confirming that the most luscious dreams of your heart are being nurtured into manifestation. To this end, you shall be given a saving grace and intervention if need be. So the saving grace and the intervention, the extension from the universe, was going to actually come out of that sit down meeting where they were going to sit, they were going to talk this situation over, and he was going to have the opportunity to, you know, pretty much maneuver and finagle a situation, which would have went in his favor because this person would have, had to walk away from this mediation with, a possible check or something, but he still would have had his reputation intact and he would have been able to go about, his daily duties, his life as the person that we have always known him to be, right? So that was literally his olive branch. Okay, so we're going off into the steampunk priestess. And the steampunk priestess says, 1, 2, 3, trust in what you see. 4, 5, 6, trust behind the tricks. 7, 8, 9, clarity divine. You shall see what you need to see at the perfect moment. It shall be. Now, remember when I told you about her glasses, okay? See, the glasses show you what can be seen. But when you look at the top of her glasses, it's pretty much the intuition, the third eye, the spiritual eye that is being either blocked and binded or being shielded and protected. So a lot of people are not seeing what's actually going on, and they won't see it for a minute, but in due time, things will be revealed and people will see things as they actually are, not just what lies, before the naked eye, so to speak. So it says, appearances can deceive, yet when the time is right, incisive intuition slices through the illusions and the truth hits you between the eyes. That is the perception of reality behind the illusion. You know it when you experience it, and you know that you have to trust in what you see. So you give yourself permission to acknowledge and accept the power of those insights. So once again, this card speaks about, mirrored images and smoke and mirrors. And when you think about, the media and the power of spin, people believe in what they can see, which is her glasses, what you can see, what is actually in front of your eyes. But in due time, what is being hidden will be revealed. And what it is that Tony actually had is going to come to the surface. Remember, I said that he had information on the 2 wolves in that moon card, but it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So Tony knew going into that arbitration that he was asking for, I have certain information, but it's not what I know, it's what I can prove. But now it's in due time, people will see what I've seen. They will know what I know. They won't just be deceived by what they see in the media. Okay? And then we've got the sweetheart here, which is a 20 that reduces to 2. 2 represents the choice. Okay? 2 is also like, duality, which double backs on what you can see, what is versus what it really is. So notice how I talked about how when you first see this woman, it's like, oh, okay, she's sitting here, she's got this lollipop, and then you look a little closer and it's like, what's wrong with your face? What happened to you? And then you see this butterfly, and this doesn't look like a usual butterfly. So who's keeping tabs on this woman? What actually happened to this woman? This woman is beautiful, but she looks like something has happened to her that has scarred her, and it's taken away from her beauty, right? So we're going to go to the sweetheart. see, the sweetheart is, okay, on page 66. Thank you for your patience, y'all, because I'm going through old cards that I have never used, and I'm glad that I did. Let's see. So the sweetheart. You've known violence in your life. Maybe on the outside, maybe on the inside, with a mind that has tortured you with fear, shame, and darkness and doubt. Enough of the, wait a minute. You said enough of that, Nina. So Nina, I don't know. Oh, excuse me, enough of that now is the text. Pardon me. It says enough of that now. It is a time for a gentler way. Less pain, more gain. No more torture. It's your time for sweets and treats. Okay, so I'm going to read that all over again because I want to make sure that we get that proper assessment. So here it is. It says, you've known violence in your life, maybe on the outside, maybe on the inside, with a mind that has been tortured with fear, shame, darkness, and doubt. Enough of that now. It's time for a gentler way. Less pain, more gain. No more torture. It's your time for sweets and treats. There is so much violence in the world and in our own minds that we can assume that this is the way of the world, that we have to accept it, deal with it, and thereby forget that we have the right to question it and even change it if we choose. So her going before Tony Busby, he's telling her that, listen, however situations may have worked out in the past where this person gets away with this person doesn't have to get away with this anymore. You don't have to accept being violated and mistreated. It's the dawn of a new day, and we're going to handle this. We may not be able to go after this person in a criminal pursuit, but what we can do is sit down and have a mediation, have an arbitration that may lead to a financial payment that can help make your life better, which would be the sweets and treats. So allegedly, it appears that Tony actually does believe that something has happened to this woman, and there is something that he knows that has not been released to the public, to the public as of yet, but he's going to stand by this woman. And what actually activated him to stand by this woman was the harassment of his family, his associates, his colleagues, his his clients, his ex-clients. It's like once that came into fruition, it's like you took it too far. So now I'm fighting to protect everyone, not just this one person. And what this feels like is, not only is this the beginning of the end, this is going to be a epic battle. Okay? So I'm going to end this here, and thank you everyone for your viewership and support. This is the Deactivation of Shawn Carter, Volume 1, Tony Buzbee. Man, oh man. This reading is adjourned. Talk to y'all soon.